Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something pretty new on the scene.
Yeah. What's that?
It's the launch of this YouTube channel called Mediummania.
Oh, right. Mediummania.
Yeah, and our goal here is to really dig into what they're doing, and what it might sort of tell us about where content creation is heading.
Okay, yeah. And what's really grabbing me right away is the core concept.
Which is?
Taking old written articles, things they've already published, and using AI to make them into audio.
Ah, okay, so like podcast versions of blog posts.
Essentially, yeah. The creator, Mediummania, is using Google's AI Gemini. You probably remember it as Bard.
Right, Bard. So they're using Gemini to give these older pieces, well, a new voice, basically, a new audience.
Exactly. It's finding a new lease on life for that older content.
Okay, so Mediummania has this, backlog of writing, and now AI turns it into audio. Sounds smart, actually.
Yeah.
Reaching people differently.
That's smart.
But you mentioned there are a few things to maybe keep in mind, especially with, was it the Japanese content?
That's right. The creators sort of flagged this up front. They expect that while Gemini can handle Japanese, getting it to sound, totally natural, that's still maybe a bit of a work in progress.
How so?
Well, they mentioned the Japanese audio might have some quirks, maybe odd pronunciations, or the rhythm might be slightly off, things like that.
Okay.
But interestingly, they also noted the English versions are apparently sounding much more polished, much smoother.
Huh. So maybe focusing more effort or maybe the AI is just better in English right now.
Could be either, or both. But it does raise an interesting point, doesn't it? What does it signal when a creator repurposing content like this seems to have, better results in one language?
Yeah, that is a good question. And something else you flagged, the content itself, some of these original pieces were reviews, right? Equipment reviews.
Exactly. Reviews of gear that was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back when the article was written.
So if you tune in now, you might be hearing this enthusiastic review for a camera or something that you absolutely cannot buy anymore.
Precisely. It's time-sensitive stuff. And there's another layer, too. The creators mentioned a lot of the original writing was focused on Japan-centric topics.
Ah, okay. So maybe not as directly relevant to a global audience hearing it today.
Potentially, yeah. So thinking about our mission here, understanding how content is evolving, what does this approach, using AI on older, time-specific, maybe geographically specific content, what does it tell us?
Well, it makes you think about how we value old information, doesn't it?
How so?
I mean, maybe those old reviews aren't useful for buying advice anymore, but maybe they become interesting as a little time capsule, a snapshot of tech from back then.
That's a great way to put it, a historical record almost. Or maybe people use it to compare how things have changed.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you wonder how listeners will actually, use this information, knowing its original context is gone.
Right. But despite all these, potential issues, the language quirks, the outdated info, the creator seems really genuinely excited about it all.
Yeah, they do.
They're framing it as this amazing chance technology has given them to finally get this backlog of work out to potentially way more people.
You really sense that enthusiasm.
Yeah, there's this buzz. Even with acknowledging the limitations, it feels like AI is maybe making it easier for old work to find a new audience, lowering the barrier, maybe?
I think that's spot on. That enthusiasm is key. It shows that fundamental desire creators have just to connect, to share their work. And AI is becoming another tool, another pathway to do that, even if the work isn't brand new.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. The creators' own views on AI, because they're using it, but it sounds like they're not, completely all in on everything AI.
Right, it's nuanced. They're using Gemini for the audio, but they apparently mentioned they're not big fans of really obviously AI-ish illustrations.
Ah, okay. Like the visual side of things.
Exactly, which kind of taps into that wider conversation we're seeing everywhere, right?
Oh.
AI tools are powerful, efficient.
Yeah, they can do amazing things.
But there's still that debate about the look, the feel. Does it feel too generic sometimes? Does it lack a certain human touch? The creator's personal taste here really highlights that tension.
The tension between the convenience of AI and the artistic side.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is how selective they're being. Using AI where it solves a problem, the audio conversion, but maybe drawing a line elsewhere, like with the visuals.
So where does the value lie? Human creativity versus AI efficiency? It seems like creators are figuring that out piece by piece.
That seems to be the case. Different tools for different jobs.
And it wasn't just the visuals, right? Didn't they also mention something about the AI voices?
They did. They brought up that feeling you sometimes get of AI voices sounding a bit uncanny. Maybe too perfect, too consistent in tone.
Yeah, lacking the little ups and downs of human speech sometimes.
Exactly. And they even sort of jokingly suggested listeners should approach the audio quite casually, like listening to, I think the word was slop.
Slop. Okay, that's certainly managing expectations. Very down to earth.
It really is. And that slop comment is quite revealing, I think. It suggests maybe the priority is just getting the content out there, making it accessible, reach over absolute perfection, perhaps.
Yeah, acknowledging the tech isn't perfect yet, but using it anyway. Pragmatic.
Very pragmatic. Work with the tools you have, warts and all.
But here's a little twist I found interesting. Their profile picture. Apparently that is AI generated.
Oh, really? After saying they don't like AI-ish visuals.
Well, maybe not that specific visual style they dislike, but yeah, AI profile pic. But they were clear the articles themselves, the writing, that's all human.
Huh. That is an interesting mix.
It's curious, isn't it?
It is. It could be strategic.
Yeah.
Using AI for something functional, like a profile image. Maybe that's quick and easy.
While keeping the core creative work the writing human.
Exactly. Or maybe it just shows they're open to experimenting, trying AI out in different corners of the project, see what sticks.
Makes sense. So looking ahead then, this first wave is audio versions of old articles, but they're thinking beyond that.
Definitely. The creator mentioned hoping to get to a point where they can publish new stuff, both written and audio. Kind of simultaneously.
Ah, okay. So catching up to the present day.
Yeah, and maybe even covering more timely news or current topics that way.
Which seems like a natural progression, right? Once you've got the AI audio process figured out.
Right, once that pipeline is working.
Why not use it for new content as it happens? Get it out faster, reach people who prefer audio.
It really opens things up. Makes content creation potentially more fluid across formats.
Yeah.
AI could really help bridge that gap between writing and audio quickly.
Yeah, creators aren't locked into just one format anymore. They're exploring how to be everywhere their audience might be, and AI is, well, one way to help make that happen.
It's definitely an enabler in that sense.
Okay, and just quickly on a more practical level, there are a couple of funny little details.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, the mediummania Gmail address was already taken.
Uh-huh. Of course it was. The internet.
So the contact email actually uses their handle instead. And they also mentioned owning some, non-functional blog somewhere.
Right, just sitting there.
It's those little things, isn't it? Reminds you there's an actual person behind all this tech stuff, just trying to navigate setting things up online.
Totally. Those little bumps in the road are universal for anyone trying to create online. It adds a layer of authenticity, I think. Shows the practical side, not just the slick final product.
Yeah. And that old blog, maybe it was version 1.0 of their online presence.
Could be. Now revisited with new tools, new strategies.
And the creator also made a point of saying, they were really keen to start posting this stuff.
Eager to get going.
But they wanted to put this context out first, explain what was going on.
Which seems wise.
Yeah, because they figured, look, an anonymous account suddenly dropping AI voices, that might seem a bit weird or suspicious.
Understandable reaction.
Yeah, they wanted to be upfront. Here's who I am, sort of. Here's what I'm doing. Here's the tech involved.
And that transparency is really important, especially now, with AI content becoming so much more common.
You need to know what you're getting.
Exactly. Explaining the process, the motivations. It helps build trust. It manages expectations. It just shows they've actually thought about how the audience might perceive it.
It feels like a good model, actually. If you're going to use AI like this, be open about it.
Definitely. It sets a positive example for others maybe thinking about doing similar things, fosters a more informed audience, maybe a more accepting one too.
So wrapping up this deep dive on mediummania's launch, it really does make you think about the bigger picture, doesn't it?
It does.
You've got this creator taking work they've already done, leveraging AI to give it new life, connecting with potentially new listeners.
While navigating all the quirks and perceptions around that AI.
Yeah. And it really leaves you with a question, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, as these AI tools get better, get more integrated into how people create things, how is that going to change our relationship with older content from the past?
What new ways will people find to bring old ideas back?
Exactly. What new opportunities does it create? But also, what are the challenges? As creators find more and more ways to slice and dice and repurpose their work across different times, different formats, what does that mean for how we consume information? It's definitely something to keep an eye on.